Hello. I guess you can't see me at all, can you? There, how's that? Is that better? Well, it's Nancy today. You remember me, right? Let's see if I can get this view to be any better. No, I don't know. So I got to the border. I drove all the way from there. That's better. I drove all the way from Georgia to Canada, and when I went to cross the border at 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m., I guess it was, they said I couldn't bring the car in because it's an American car and I live in Canada. So I'd have to import the car. But I can't import the car because I don't own the car. So therefore the car cannot come into Canada because a car cannot be an American car. No, a Canadian resident cannot bring in an American car, have American plates on their car, have to have Canadian plates. I didn't know what to do. I went to customs where they told me to go and do all this import stuff, and they said, no, you can't do it at all. So you have to take the car back to the United States. You can't bring it in. Period. End of case. No options. Nothing else. That's it. Cannot do it. I said, well, I really live there, and I'm just coming here to visit. Probably going to be living there for a while. She said, no, you live here and you're visiting there. I said, well, what's the difference? I mean, what is the cutoff line of how you know you live in one place? So she said, you pack everything up and you move everything down there, and then you live there. But if you have everything here, you live here, even if you're down there. So I called Willem, my poor sweetheart. He was going to be glad to see me. He's had an hour's sleep. And I told him my situation and suggested that I stay over somewhere and see him tomorrow. Maybe he can come and get me tomorrow. And he said, yeah, maybe that's the best thing to do. But then he couldn't figure out when tomorrow because he's got meetings at work in the afternoon. And so he couldn't take the day off or anything. And so I said, well, maybe you should come get me. So he's coming to get me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's snowing pretty hard out there. They're supposed to get 5 inches of snow here. This is why I drove fast, so that I could get beyond the snow before it came. But they're going to get all this huge snowfall tonight on this car, wherever I park it. I thought the best place to park it would be in the hospital parking lot. But imagine, this hospital doesn't have overnight people. So I can't park it in the hospital parking lot because there are nobody staying overnight here. So if you have a car out there with 5 inches of snow on it, somebody's going to say, whose car is that? But she said it's very safe here, and she's never heard of anybody breaking into a car. She's never heard of that at all in this town. That sounds pretty good, eh? So I have no idea where to park the car. Plus, now to complicate matters, they are going to give Willem a message when he gets to American Customs to that I'm waiting just beyond U.S. Customs by the side of the road. But I phoned him, and luckily he had turned around and gone back to the house because he had forgotten the phone number. And this is also unbelievable. It's really laughable, isn't it? I should laugh. This is very funny. I just can't figure out what to do. I mean, I would just park it somewhere and leave it there and not worry about it. But it's my father's car. I mean, it's been willed to my mother, so now it's my mother's car. Well, what would my father do if he encountered this situation? What is the right thing to do? The right thing is to put it in a spot where they know that you're going to be gone for a week and you pay rental for the spot for a week. That's the right thing to do. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's now 3 o'clock in the morning, who do you ask? I mean, luckily there was a receptionist there in the hospital, and I could talk to her. And there have been a couple of people drive by. I said, well, can I park it in your driveway? She says, well, I live 20 miles from here. So otherwise it would have been okay. And I asked, what happens when they tow a car away? Where does it go? And they said, well, they probably tow it to Watertown. Well, that's even further away. I would say you can't leave your car. You just can't do that. It's not safe. I mean, to me, it's safe. To me, everything's fine. It would be just fine. Not a problem. But it's my parents' car, and they would never do that. Never in a million years. They're very careful. They lock things up. They keep things safe and in good condition. And it's nobody else's problem, so nobody can really help me with it. And Willem's not here yet. It's 3 o'clock. So he went back to the house, and that's when I called him from the side of the road and told him that's where I'd be. And he said, no, don't stay there. Or no, I said I'd go find a place to park it, and then I would meet him there. But then I couldn't find a place to turn around to get back there. I thought I would have to go back through American Customs and through Canadian Customs in order to get back to that spot to wait for him. I asked them at Customs if I could just go through again and tell them I live in Georgia. And she says, well, no, you've already told us you live in Canada. So you can't do that. And they have your passport number and your driver's license number, and so I'm sure they've keyed the whole thing into their computer system, so there's no other border that you could go through and do it correctly this time. You know, tell them that you live in Georgia and you're visiting here for a week, a month. So I am out of luck. There's a word I would put before out of luck, but I'm not going to say that. I feel really bad that Willem is having to drive down here to get me. And I don't know what to do with this car. There is a long-term parking, but it's just a lot. It's just an empty parking lot. But the lady said that this is a safe town, and she's never heard of anybody getting his car stolen or broken into or anything. Man, what if it gets stolen? Can you imagine that? What if I come back to get the car and it's gone? I mean, these are worst case scenarios, right? Like, where's my faith? I've been driving for 18 hours. My whole body is shaking. I took one of those 5-hour wake-up things. My poor Willem. He's got to go to work tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Not only is he going to come all the way here to get me, I mean, he might not even be here till 4 because of the weather. I think the best thing to do would be to stay over somewhere, but there's no place to stay here. There's a hotel, but nobody's at the office. It's the middle of the night. Nobody's there. I just don't know what to do. I need a blessing. I need a miracle. Have faith, Nancy. Miracles happen. You obey the commandments, the Lord will bless you. I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just give Willem a hug and then go to Connecticut and take Mary to Georgia and fly back here and go home. Any ideas? I have no ideas. I'll go park it up there in that parking lot and pray about it. The Lord will keep it safe if I pray about it. Will you pray about it too? The Lord can protect it. I'll just go home with Willem and I'll stay there. Maybe I should go to the hospital. I should park it there. And I should leave them some money. And when whoever comes that's in charge of the hospital comes in, they can tell them that that's what the car is there for. So I thought it would be safe. It would be safe at a hospital, you know. I'm a little bit tired. What about Willem? Poor Willem. Okay, Nancy, think positive. This is too much. You can't think negative. It's too depressing. I can't tell my mother. Oh, my word. I can't tell her anything about this. She would just worry, worry, worry. I'm smart. I can think of a solution. I just hope the snow is not too terribly deep out there on the roads. Poor Willem. Oh my goodness, that poor guy. I should never have asked him to come out here in this. Unbelievable. Never assume anything. One teacher wrote on the blackboard once the word assume. And she said, this is what happens when you assume. And she cut the word into three words. A line before and after the you. It makes that of you and me. That's what happens when you assume. I was in grade 9. It was Mrs. Ripley. I never remembered her name until now. Should have just gotten a room in Pennsylvania where I told my mom I was going to get a room. Wouldn't have done any good. I'd still be in this position. But it wouldn't be at 3 in the morning with Willem having to come and pick me up. I wonder if I could just park the car at a car rental place, rent a car, and drive it across. But I don't really need to rent a car. But now I'm going to be up there without a car. Willem's going to go to Ottawa and I'm going to be at the house without a car. I can't go see Elida. Can't go to Mira. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Nancy, relax. It's the will of God. Everything that happens is the will of God. I'm going through this experience because it's a good experience for me to go through. It's a test. Character development. That's what it's all about. You're only on this planet to develop your character. To see if you will do the right. Choose the right. Repent when you do wrong. Okay, so choose the right. That would be the public parking lot. And pray for a blessing on the car. That's all I can do. It's not like I can just come back here and check on it every day. It's not like I can come back and put it somewhere else. I won't have a car to do that with. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths for good. And pray over your flocks, your fields, your herds, that they may be blessed. It's only a problem because I think it's a problem. Yeah, but you see, if it's my car and it gets stolen, I can deal with that. It's not my car, it's my mother's car. She's 82. She can't deal with that. What is going to happen to her if I show up and say the car got stolen? I'm sorry, Mom. Well, she has insurance, you know. I mean, as long as it's locked up, I guess the insurance would pay for the car. Of course, if it gets towed away and I can't find it, that's another thing. There just aren't places you can go park your car. Unless it's an overnight parking lot. Here comes a snowplow. Lots of snow blown off to the side of the road. Jeepers. I'm glad Willem loves me. I'm glad he's not going to blame me for doing such a terrible thing and causing him all this grief. Did I do the right thing when I phoned him? Did I do the right thing coming to Canada with my mom's car? No, I guess I should have bought a car down there. But even then, I would have had to import it and pay the taxes on it. And they say you have to, if you're going to export a car from the United States, you have to have 3 days ahead of time. You have to let them know. No, that's not Willem. Why would it be Willem at 3:15 in the morning? Can you see how much the snow is coming down? Let's see if we can see the snow. There you go. Poor Willem, he's having to drive twice as slowly. I posted on my journal. I did a live journal voice post. Snowplow's coming back again. Guess I should turn this off, eh? Guess I'll just go talk to God instead of you. Will you pray for me? I think that your prayers, even though you're going to pray for this in a week when you find out this whole thing, I think that the prayers are retroactive. The Lord knows who's going to pray. They know what they're going to pray because everything is present to the Lord. It's not foreordained or anything. He just knows what's going to happen. He knows the future and he knows the past. And so your prayers for me next week will help me right now. Thank you. I feel the support of them even. Okay, gotta go talk to him. See ya. Bye. You can do this at home.